then what does the federal judge do? Does he have an evidentiary hearing? Does he judge whether the CIA's intelligence was correct, that their informant in Karachi was telling the truth?
Yes.
Does he call the CIA agent in? The CIA agent comes into court and says, "I got it from
not a trial as to whether or not the person's guilty, but whether or not they have right to detain him."
This is totally uncharted waters. It's utterly unmanageable. And I think what it means is Congress has to step in now and specify, okay, if the court's going to make us do this, we need to set up a system of a national security court that can handle these trials. And this has been proposed by Andrew McCarthy, the former federal prosecutor who tried the blind sheikh in New York and has a very good book out on the problems of trying to do this through the federal legal system. Anyway, but you could do it. You could have a national security court. Senator Lindsey Graham is working on this, and I think you will see Senator Graham, accompanied by Senator McCain, come to the floor of the Senate very soon, like next week, and say, we cannot let chaos obtain here. We can't let 200 different federal district judges on their own whim call this CIA agent here, say, I don't believe this soldier here who said this guy was doing this. You have to release someone, or let's compromise sources and methods with a bunch of trials. I mean, it's ridiculous. So Congress has to act. Senator Graham and Senator McCain are going to insist on action. It will be interesting to see what Senator Obama's response is if the serious legislative proposal is introduced to set up a way of doing this consistent with the Supreme Court decision.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I think what you're saying is you're agreeing basically with the 5-4 decision, because you're saying there needs to be a structure, that you can't simply hold people for an undetermined length. And remember, this Guantanamo's been open 6 years. 6 years without resolving this. And they've only had plans to try, I think it's 80 of the 270, and only 19 currently face any kind of court, have the opportunity to speak out and say, you know what, it wasn't me, or I was caught in the wrong way. And the military courts have said that occasionally they have swept up the wrong people. In fact, the named litigant in this case was someone who's taken from Bosnia, not from Iraq, not from Afghanistan, Bosnia. So he's trying to make the case that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So when you say, okay, let's have a national intelligence court, that's fine with me, but it seems to me that you are confirming, you're not agreeing with Brett Hume. You're saying, in fact, we need a structure that gives people the opportunity to come before the courts and say that I have been detained illegally and wrongfully. And that's a good thing. That's protecting America's rights and liberties, even in a